The Ten Commandments as a metaphor. What is up, alienARMy? I am Oculus, the alien next door, purveyor of esoteric lore. And on this channel, we discuss everything out of this world. So today's topic, we are just going to be talking about the Ten Commandments as a metaphor.
Of course, because it's my fucking channel and that's what I fucking do here.
So this is just what was conveyed to me. This is my interpretation. Obviously, you have your own intuition. If you view the Ten Commandments as something totally different, do what resonates with you. This is something that was conveyed to me. So here we go. So if you're not familiar with the Ten Commandments, these are basically purported to be the commandments that God gave to Moses on stone tablets. That I believe I read somewhere that it was purported to be lapis lazuli tablets, which that's a grand motherfucking stone. I love that stone. But either which way, the Ten Commandments were carved by the finger of God and given to Moses. So what do the Ten Commandments state?
Okay, so I just wanted to jump in here really quick, and if you can see by the depiction of this photo that I have posted up, you can see this is what looks like to me that Moses is really taking the Ten Commandments from his higher self, because these two figures to me look very much alike. It almost looks like it's one individual that is on the third dimensional plane receiving information from the same individual that is on the fifth dimensional and above perspective plane. So I just wanted to throw this in there, that part of my interpretation of the Ten Commandments, looking at this photo here, just made something really click, which to me stipulates that Moses was receiving the Ten Commandments from the higher self, God, his higher self, God, through the divine eye, the eye of the all, the eye of God. So if we look at the two figures, they really, really look very similar. It's just that one is on a different plane of existence from the other one, but they are sharing information because they are connected. So in my view, Moses was receiving the Ten Commandments from his higher self.
The first commandment is, thou shalt have no other gods before me. So what this means is that when we are talking about God, thou shalt have no other gods before me, we know that everyone is God, that everything is God, that the I am principle that runs in you, that runs in me, that runs in everything, that is the God principle, the all-seeing eye. So when God said to Moses, thou shalt have no other gods before me, is that nothing that is false shall be presented to the eye to try to diminish the presence of the eye. So the eye is God, the eye, the third eye, the seat of the soul, the pineal gland, however you want to look at it, that resides within us all. That is the true God, the I am. So there shall be no other God, no other source of anything that is outside the eye of the all. So if, let's say, someone is viewing themselves as God, they are not going to be viewing anything else as above them, because they know that they are the all. The all is God. The I is God. The eye of Horus, the all-seeing eye, is God. This is all that is. When one sees through the eye, there shall be nothing before that, nothing after that. Everything is now. Everything is God consciousness, as long as one is focused on viewing things through the eye of the all. So the second commandment is, thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image. So what does this mean? Now, graven image, to my interpretation in this context, is like an ironclad poster child of what God should look like, or what God should be. Because we already said with the first commandment that thou shalt put no other gods before me, meaning that the eye of the all is everything. And because the eye of the all is as well in everything, that a graven image, an image that is ironclad, an image that is immovable, is going to not be the eye of the all. The eye is the eye. The eye never closes. The eye never sleeps. The eye is always open. The eye is always awake. The eye is always observing. So the eye can gaze upon a graven image of what God is supposed to look like via someone else's interpretation, but it's meaningless unless the eye gives that meaning. Nothing has meaning aside from what the eye declares its surroundings to be. So when we're talking about the image of God, the image of God is constantly changing. So you must dismantle any image or falsehood associated with your belief system of God, because the energy of God is malleable, it's changeable, it's in everyone, it's in everything. So how are you going to narrow down God when God is the all? You cannot put that in a box. To put God in a box, to put an ironclad, like, well, this is the statue of God. Okay, sure, you gave that meaning, but it's not taking away anything from the eye of the all, because the eye of the all, God, is always all-encompassing. So the third commandment is, thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. So what does this mean? The name of God as presented to Moses, remember we're talking about Moses here, okay? So as presented to Moses, the name of God was I am, is I am. And the I am being the name of God, thou shalt not take that in vain. So a lot of times, especially in religious texts, they try to compensate and say, no, well, you just can't say the name God or the word God, right, out of anger. Like when someone says, oh God, or however you want to use that, right, in context. This is not what is being conveyed to me. What is being conveyed to me is, and a lot of Neville Goddard, I believe, says this, or a few other law of attraction, like Bible mystics, they do get onto this tangent as well. So this is not something that is just conveyed to me. This is just how I'm explaining it in my own words. So when we're talking about the I am principle, if you want to think of the name God, I am. So we're going to substitute God with I am. So now we do not say that in vain. We do not say that unless we really, really mean it. We don't say I am callously, because I am is conjure. That's what it is. So we have God equals I am equals conjure. When someone says I am, they are declaring unto universal sources that is who they are. And then universal sources, they say, yes, master, that is who you are. We present to you the evidence of that which you spoke. So when we say, do not say I am in vain, that means that you never want to put something that you do not wish to experience or bear witness to after you say the word I am. So when I say I am Oculus, the alien next door, you best believe I fucking mean it. You're not going to want to put something detrimental after the phrase I am ever, because that is taking the name God in vain, because you are God, I am God, we all are God. So when you are declaring that, you are declaring unto your surroundings, this is what I wish to have presented to me, I am, and then you make that statement. So you don't want to use that statement fucking lightly. So the fourth commandment is remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. So in another one of my videos, actually a few of my videos, I do have reference to the word holy in terms of holy. So we have H-O-L-Y, then we have W-H-O-L.
Is it 2 L's or 1? I don't remember at this point.
But you know what I'm saying. We have holy with an H, then we have holy that begins with a W. So these two holies are pretty much the same thing. When we say something is holy, that means it's whole and complete. So the Sabbath day, the Sabbath is essentially the rest day, and if we want to even bring it back to more Bible stuff, we say on the seventh day God rested. So the Sabbath, when someone is taking the Sabbath, what's happening is that they are just relaxing. Neville Goddard talks about this a lot as well, and it just means relax. You keep it holy. So whatever work that you're trying to do, if you don't give yourself a break and allow things to just flow into your experience, then you in essence become fractured. You no longer remain whole. Of course your soul is always whole, but your energetic output on your 3D plane is going to be distracted if it is not well nourished and well replenished by keeping the Sabbath. So we can take a Sabbath at any moment. So for example, I'm filming this video, I'm going to film a few other videos, but when I'm done with that, I'm going to take me a little fucking Sabbath and I am going to relax just so I can recharge and replenish myself, because I'm giving energy to the camera right now. So then if I want to relax and let that energy flow back to me, what am I going to do? I'm going to take me a fucking Sabbath so I can remain whole, because energetic output, when someone is exerting effort, what happens is that all they had to do is just relax and be still, remain whole and present in the moment, and that energy is returned back to them multiplied. So remember the Sabbath. No matter what you do, always take a break, take a time out to relax, and that is when the miracle happens, when you're not actively pursuing it, when you're not actively seeking it out, when you're not actively working for it. You've already done the work. Now it's time to relax and remain holy. The fifth commandment is honor thy father and thy mother. So a lot of motherfuckers take this quite literally, like
honor your parents, blah, 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 blah.
Okay, cool, that's great if you want to do that, but we're talking about metaphors here, so let's get down into it. In a lot of my other videos as well, I talk about the masculine principle, the feminine principle in every aspect of our life. So this does not stop short here when we're talking about the father and the mother. So the father, masculine principle, conscious mind; the mother, feminine principle, subconscious mind. You are honoring them. You are honoring your aspects of mind and what they each can do. You are not going to have the father principle, the conscious mind, do something that the subconscious mind is meant to do. You're not going to have the subconscious mind do something that the conscious mind is meant to do. You are going to respect them as they are equals, but they have different ends of the pole to which they are best suited for. So you being the king of your castle, you with the all-seeing eye, you understand the two principles of mind and you respect them, because you understand from your I am God state that the mind works for you. But you have to understand how to utilize the principles of mind. You honor the father, the conscious principle of mind, the one who directs the subconscious mind. You honor the mother, the subconscious mind, the one who multiplies that which the father principle imparts unto it. So you, as the master, you are utilizing both of them, and you see in which ways they can work in congruence with each other. Sometimes it's best to focus on what the subconscious mind can do best. Sometimes it's best to focus on what the conscious mind can do best. But you know not to try to have the subconscious mind do something that is meant for the conscious mind, and vice versa. They both are different principles of the same thing, different degree, and you respect that because you, as their master, you are providing for them good vibes, because you're imparting the knowledge of the all onto the father aspect and the mother aspect. So you're giving them some good ass energy, and then the two of them are working together to commingle and then bring that forth into your reality. Because the better way you treat your mind, the better your mind is going to serve you. The sixth commandment, thou shalt not kill. So here we go with another one that seems a little bit like it's quite literal. Okay, you don't want to go around killing motherfuckers, right? I mean, who wants to do that? That's just, you know.
There are other ways of handling your shit than killing a motherfucker.
But we talking about metaphors once again. So we gonna scratch that away. What we're doing when we're talking about thou shalt not kill, now here's where it gets a little trippy, is that when we're talking about principles of mind, another video that I mentioned, so a lot of my videos are interconnected.
It's not everything's all connected.
But basically, I talk about this book, Ramtha, the White Book, and there is my favorite quote in there which says, think of how you can destroy, kill, knife, or war against a thought, something to that effect. And basically the quote says, think of the ways that you can do that. You cannot destroy a thought. You cannot. You can't do that. So when we're talking about the principle of the I am, we're talking about you cannot destroy something that already is, because energy, the I am, the all that is factor, is not created, it's not destroyed, it always is ever present. So how can you kill something and think that you're going to get rid of it? No, it's going to come back in another form. And if you killed the motherfucker, they're probably going to come back and haunt you. So when we are viewing this as a metaphor, thou shalt not kill, one needs to step away from the notion that they need to slaughter something in their experience or in their own psyche. One is going to be beneficially rewarded if they gravitate towards, instead of trying to kill something, destroy something, transmuting it with their own energy, and then having that energy flow back to it in a reciprocal state of what they are emitting. So when this commandment says thou shalt not kill, you're not going to destroy anything, because nothing can be destroyed if everything is a part of the all, and it always is and always was and always will be, right? It's ever expanding, it's not ending. So how are you going to kill something that shit? Like I said, you kill it, there's to be a void, right? Because you thought you killed it, but you fucking didn't. But now there's a void, and something else of equal caliber, or perhaps greater caliber, is going to see that void, want to step in and boomerang right back at your ass, because you're like, you did something out of malice, like, I'm gonna get you, when in reality nothing is going to be destroyed. That energy is only going to surface again. So what you want to do is take control from the I am state, and you view something, even if you don't like it, and you transmute it in your own self, and you view it from a different state, and it seems to shapeshift and metamorphosize in front of your very eyes. So it's like that old thing, it seems to die, it seems to be sort of like passing away in front of you, and then the new thing is being molded and shaped, and it's sort of being resurrected in front of your face, but it's being resurrected into this version that you now consciously imparted unto it. So it's not going to come at you all creepy and scary because you done thought you slaughtered a motherfucker and another motherfucker gonna take their place, right? You started viewing whatever the fuck it was, and you're like, okay, energy is not created, it's not destroyed, but I can manipulate energy as a master magician, so I'm going to view this thing and I am going to impart my will on it, therefore it shows up to me in the desired state that I wish to view it. So you're not killing something, you're simply metamorphosizing it to your liking. The seventh commandment, thou shalt not commit adultery. So with this seventh commandment, this is another one that it might seem very, very literal. If you're married to someone or whatever, don't be cheating on them, okay? But metaphorically, it means something else. What is conveyed to me regarding this commandment is that one must always be faithful to the I of the all and whatever it is that they are engaged with in the moment, and do not allow an outside action, an outside influence to tempt and distract the seeker from doing what they intend to do. So let's say you have a specific mission, you're doing your fucking work. It can be a partner too, but you know, in regards to a metaphor, this is really just your general state of being. So you're doing your work, you're on your life path, and then all of a sudden it's like, we got the wicked witch coming through holding up an apple trying to tempt you, like, oh, you could take a break. You're like, but I'm doing this over here right now, and that's important to me. And the wicked witch with the apple is like, no, but come on. So then if you compromise yourself and what you know that you're committed to in the earthly plane or in yourself, the I am principle, because this can be taken in a lot of context. If you allow yourself to be beguiled by temptation, then you are essentially drowning out the I of the all, because the I of the all is always in communication with you. But when you are tempted by something that you know that you are not dedicated to, you have allowed yourself to be allured by something that you probably shouldn't be focusing on in that moment. So this can also mean in the sense where you know something and you know it intuitively, right? And you know it, and there might not be necessarily physical evidence around you, but it's just something that you know, right? So for example, psychic ability. Can that be proven? I don't know about that, but it don't matter because I know that psychic ability is real. So if someone is knowing intuitively that they are psychic, but they commit adultery, what they are doing, they're going against their own eye of the all, because someone else maybe went on a whole fucking spiel and started telling them that psychic ability is a bunch of bullshit, and that was false, right? But the ego of that individual who knew that they were psychic is now on defense.
What you mean that shit is false?
But then the other motherfucker is so convincing that it tempted the one who knows into believing a false third dimensional realm construct, or even a false fourth dimensional realm construct, right? Because the 4D is where things can get a little tricky and especially beguiling, but this is any time that you allow yourself to be tempted away from who you really are. So let's say you know you're psychic, but a motherfucker comes in and he all trying to shit on your parade over here, and then your ego might start doubting your own psychic ability, which is essentially you committing adultery against the eye of the all, because the eye of the all just knows, but you allowed yourself to be swayed by something so insignificant. But now it kind of fucked with your psyche, so you don't want to be committing adultery. You want to remain committed and true to you, and do not let an outside temptation dictate anything in your experience. The 8th commandment, thou shalt not steal. So thou shalt not steal, this one is a very interesting context, because the way that is conveyed to me, it's more in terms of energetic vibration, okay? So this has something to do a little bit with the outside, what the outside is doing, because this is in regards to a perception of lack. So let's say someone is walking around in the fucking grocery store, they have fucking 5 apples in their basket, they ain't looking, and they're on the phone and they're doing their thing, and then another motherfucker comes along and they see that this motherfucker has 5 apples that they're not paying attention to, and they figure, you know what, let me just grab one, walk out the store with it, whatever. Okay, weird example, but you know what I mean. So why does this individual that came in and stole the fucking apple, why did they feel the need to do that? So it could be an adrenaline rush, it could be a perception of lack, it could be any sort of lower, denser energetic vibration that is being stemmed from fear. So when someone tries to steal something, it typically has to do with like a sneaky type of energy, because it's like, well, doesn't really belong to you, but in essence, from the eye of the all, everything belongs to you because you are everything. So energetically speaking, there is always going to be an equal energetic exchange. So if someone is taking something, whether it's energy, whether it's something else, what's going to happen is that because, and here's the trippy part, okay, because they're taking something from a perceived state of lack, like an adrenaline rush, or it's just like they're kind of like they're gambling, whatever it is, it's like a charged up energy from a place of fear. It's not a charged up energy from a place of I don't need to take anything because I am everything. That's the I am. So when you're stealing something, maybe you're stealing someone's time, maybe you're literally stealing someone's energy, you're doing that from a place of lack because you feel that you need to get something from somewhere that is outside of you. So the true energy power source never views anything from a state of lack. The I am factor knows that It is all that is, ever was, and ever will be. If some motherfucker has 5 apples in their cart, you could have 17 apples in your cart, and the two will not interfere with each other. But when someone is viewing someone else's possession or someone else's energy or someone else's anything from that heightened up adrenaline fear state, what they are doing is now they're emitting a fear energy that they want to come in and they want to try to grab something, but their own energy is what is actually being depleted in that. Even if they get away with stealing whatever it was, they're still going to multiply that energy of lack within them, because now it's even a bigger adrenaline rush, right? Like, you walk into the fucking grocery store, now instead of stealing 1 apple, you're gonna take fucking 3 apples, you know, and it's going to multiply. So that is the energy that when you're stealing something, when you're doing something that you probably know that you shouldn't be doing, because you can have whatever you want whenever you want, you're going to in turn bring more of that energy to you. So it's not going to ever be enough if you feel like you need to take something from someone else because you perceive that you cannot have that for yourself by yourself. The 9th commandment: thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. So what does this one mean? This one essentially equates to thou shalt not lie. Okay, cool. So we have thou shalt not steal, which you already know comes from a place of lack. Now we have thou shalt not lie, which is as well coming from a place of lack, but it's also coming from a place of bearing false witness to your neighbor being the outside realm experience, because everything and everyone can be considered your neighbor. So when you are walking around your 3rd dimensional experience and you're passing judgment on whosoever crosses your path, that might be bearing false witness on them, because you are viewing them from a place of judgment, not from a place of knowing. And now, because that judgment had to kind of pass through your own internal lens of how you view XYZ type of people, all judgment based upon your own personal perception, it's not the I am factor that just views the other person, the neighbor, as an extension of you. So the judgment comes in, clouds out the I, and what happens is that now you are bearing false witness. So you can perceive someone as being more successful than you on the 3D plane, but that might not even be true, and you're comparing yourself to them based on 3rd dimensional illusions which aren't really in existence. They're stale, they're stagnant, they're old news, and you're viewing it and you're passing judgment, and now you're comparing your life to someone who has absolutely nothing to do with you, and you don't even know what the fuck might be going on with them. So when we say bear false witness against thy neighbor, it's not to observe any type of physical realm, individual or experience or circumstance through the eyes of judgment. It's to view everything through the eye of the all. So it doesn't come in a place of lack or a place of competition. It's just coming through as pure knowing, because the 3rd dimensional realm is essentially designed to trip a motherfucker up with all of these fucking illusions. Even though it's like you can see them, you can hear them, you can touch them, it doesn't mean that they are real. It means that they are energy that has condensed, that slowed down from a while ago, and now it's just condensed into physical matter, but it's old news. So when someone is judging their neighbor, they think that their neighbor might be doing better than them, but in reality they don't know exactly what the fuck is going on with their neighbor. Only the all-seeing eye knows. So when you take out the judgment and you just allow the eye to guide you in your perceptions, and you will know things about the 3D realm, and it will not be tainted through the filter of judgment. The 10th commandment: thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. So this one, covet, what do we mean by this? Thy neighbor's house? This one, in my viewpoint, is somewhat piggybacking off of commandment number 9, because remember, we're talking about the neighbor is as in anyone who is also in a 3rd dimensional vessel that might present themselves to be in your experience. So we already are looking through the eye of the all, so we're not judging them. We're just looking at them like, okay, that's what it is. They're part of the all. That's all it is. Now we are looking at what they might have or what they don't have, and knowing that even though they are also an extension of source, they are also having their own third dimensional realm experience, which has nothing to do with you, because their only way that they can have something to do with you is if you invite them into your own experience. So when you see that someone is doing this or doing that or saying that or wearing this, all these 3D type of things that are going on, which are just meant to separate and divide, thou shalt not covet anything that is going on the outside realm, because number one, that can breed a lot of negative emotions when you're too concerned with what's going on the outside and wanting what they have and all of that jazz. But covet also means desire. So through the eye of the all that knows that I am, remember the I am principle, I am everything, right? We're going there, okay? I am everything. And if you are everything, then you desire, you covet nothing, because you know that at any moment you be that. You declare, I am whatsoever you perceive that you covet. So desire, coveting, is stemming from a perception of lack. It's stemming from a perception of ego, where it's saying, well, this person has this and that person has that, and what do you have, right? That's what the ego is saying. It's coveting. It's coveting. It's like keeping up with the Joneses type of energy. And the I knows that to desire a thing, anything, is to essentially declare that you don't have it. If you desire something, that means that it's separate from you. It means it's outside from you. That means it's away from you. When in reality, that's just not true. So you take away desire, you take away coveting anything, anyone, whatsoever it is, and you just be in what you desire. Now you're like, I don't desire shit. I am that, right? Whatever you want to be, you don't need to desire it, because that is coming through as a separation tactic. I desire. It's like it wants you to crave whatsoever you perceive that you don't have, when the eye of the all knows, like, oh, okay, they have that, I have all this, right? Like, because the I am factor knows that everything is all connected, all is one is all, the source is you, you are the source. So whatever is going on in the outside realm that is stirring the ego to desire something, know that that is an illusion, a mind trap, because when you desire a thing, that is basically you stating that it's not presently with you, when in reality, anything that you could desire is already within you, you as the all. So here's what I have in regards to the 10 commandments. You might see other things in metaphors, what I talked about, but that is just what is conveyed to me from like a philosophical perspective. So there you go. I am Oculus, the alien next door. We will chit chat again soon.